Hi guys, my name is ASSYL and welcome back to my channel. I'm here to tell that self-help books are useless. Legendary rapper Pitbull said, believe me, been there, done that. As you can see from the title of the video, we're gonna talk about self-help books and why I think for me it just doesn't make it. I have been trying to read self-help books since I was a teenager. Since I was legit 12, 13, I was trying to read tons of self-help books. And you know what? I haven't finished a single one of them. And I thought maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I just don't understand something. Maybe it's just not for me. Maybe just I'm not dumb. I'm dumb. That's what I thought. But then, being me right now, I just realized it's because it's all tons of bullcrap. I was trying to read The Art of Not Giving a Duck, Think and Grow Rich, 4-Hour Work Week, 4 Success Stories, blah blah blah. And I mostly was trying to read about financial and professional self-help books. Not this like how to raise kids or how to be a good parent, how to be a good husband. No, it's just for now that doesn't apply for me. Don't mind me sitting in my archive at my job. It's 5:48 p.m. on a random Wednesday and I'm sitting here. Anyways, reason number 1. What are these books even about? Someone has to tell me what is the point. You have to realize that the main point of these authors is to sell this book to you. And especially with non-fiction, specifically self-help books, they try to sell as much as possible, you guys. They are not trying to be in the history. They are not trying to be creative. They're not trying to create like new series, new plot, new characters. These are self-help books. One-time read, throw it away, and make cash right away. You have to think, the purpose of this author to write these books is to sell you this bullcrap. Most of the times, is about work or finances because that's what most people are worrying about every single day. And I'm going to more touch about the 4-Hour Work Week because I think that book is a quintessential like of everything, like doing less work, making more money, thinking and growing and everything like that. And I just think that that book is a cancer cell of all of these self-help books. You have to make a fattest title that's going to attract people. In this case, it's going to be 4-Hour Work Week. Who doesn't want to work 4 hours a week? There's not a single person who doesn't want to work 4 hours a week. I was so excited to read this book because everyone is telling me, oh, this book is awesome, you have to read this book. Billionaires, millionaires, bloggers, friends and relatives and my mother even were like, oh, you should read this book, you should read this book because it's good, it's good. Is it though? I was so excited to read this book and I was like I have to decrease my expectations because my expectations were so high. And then when I was reading the first chapter, I was like, now what the hell is this? I don't want to say the author is a fraud, but what does he even do? I'm choosing this book because most of the books are similar to this book, and this just so happens to be that it's one of the most popular ones out there. They know the audience, they want to attract you guys to read these useless books. 4-Hour Work Week, it literally attracts every single one of the people. And then the way it's explained, oh, so you just have to outsource your stuff, you have to make a business, and then you have to fly to a third world country and like spend less money there, make money more in your home country. You just have to automate everything, you don't have to pay any attention to anything, quantity over quality and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, it is bad kind of capitalism. This shouldn't be the way it should be. Quality should be on number 1. You shouldn't pay attention only 4 hours a week for a business to operate. That is not the way, even I know that is not the way it works. How can you sit there and say, oh, for me to build a successful vitamin supplemental business just cost me 4-hour a week, outsourcing these vitamins from China, I'm labeling them somewhere in US and selling them for $30 per box even though they cost 2 cents to make. That is bad. That is literally bad. I'm not saying the author is horrible. I'm just saying this is not the way it is in the real world. This thing doesn't apply to literally 99% of the people I know. And even the people I don't know, for example, Olympic champions. How can you expect Olympic champions to work 4 hours a week? Then they're not going to be Olympic champions. That doesn't make sense. Doctors, especially surgeons, and like some surgeries literally go longer than 10 hours. Spine surgery, heart surgeries, those are one of the longest surgeries ever. Do you expect them to work 4 hours a week? Then everyone's gonna be dead. Everyone's gonna have cancer, no one's gonna be cured from anything. This book literally applies to like lazy people or people in the best position ever, like the author, in my opinion. You have to be in a big privileged position in whatever country you're in for this to make it happen, for this to easily outsource everything and sell really quickly and be in the beach somewhere and then like put some emails and sell the stuff really quickly. That's not the way it works. You have to put some work in your product if you're building a product. You have to put in work in your craft if you're making craft. Put so much work and talent into your art because it is the way it works. That's not... I hated the fact that so many people like this book and then they think, oh, I'm going to work 4 hours, even not 4 hours, let's say 10 hours a week. That is part-time job, y'all. That is not going to feed you. This book and these types of book may apply to dropshippers, to lazy asses, to people who have homes, to people who don't have to pay rent, people in a privileged position, people who have food on their table, people who don't have kids to care of. That's literally such a small amount of people that this type of book can be applied to. And again, I don't like this quick capitalism thing. I don't like this quantity over quality. Let's do it real quick. Let's not pay any attention to anything. Let's outsource everything. I just think these people choose a really, really good and catchy titles for their books. And do you notice how most of the people judge YouTubers for making clickbait titles, but no one judged these authors? I can't even explain the fact like how these titles are just so misleading. I'm not talking about Think and Grow Rich. It's one of the better ones, but the 4-hour work week, how to make $10,000 in 1 day, how to lose 7 kilograms in 7 seconds, how to this, like, what is even that? The reason number 2 why I think these self-help books are useless is because of the authors. Now, we can't talk about self-help books without talking about fiction books. Anyone can write a fiction book. You can be a child, you can be an adult, you can be a woman, you can be a man, you can be homeless, you can be rich, you can be creative, you can be not creative, you can be employed, you can be unemployed, you can be disabled, you can be abled. And as long as you have a story, as long as you have a narrative, as long as you have characters in your head, as long as you have those things and other stuff, you can write a book that is going to find its audience. For self-help books, in my opinion, you have to be a qualified person. When I say qualified person, I don't mean people with diplomas, with certificates. I think most people don't realize the amount of self-help books out there. There's a lot of them. Just Google on Amazon, you're going to be flooded by this amount of books. I think people don't realize that these authors are trying to become a millionaire by writing a book on how to become a millionaire. So therefore, after selling this type of book, after becoming a millionaire, they can prove that they're a millionaire. You know what I mean? Like that is the way they think it is going to be. I feel like the person should be professionally grown and financially stable, and more than just stable, in order to write this type of book. Not just random kid who just sells supplements and be like, oh, okay, you can do the same. You can be rich. Not even like, for example, let's say, not even financial books, but about the true self-help book. How are you qualified to write a book? Like, just the fact that you are a nice person, everyone likes you, doesn't mean that you should write a self-help book. Let me watch. By touching the subject of authors. Have you noticed that most of these self-help books authors are middle-aged or younger or a bit older than that, white men living in America or somewhere in the Western world? Because there's no any other social issue they can talk about. Therefore, they can just talk about growing and everyone just loving them, and you can be this, you can do that, you can grow this, you can be this, you can be bold, you can be this, without fearing of any sort of judgment out there. I just personally think too many no names. When I say no names, I don't mean popular people. I'm just saying no names, like in their field of writing, whatever they're writing on, they're just not qualified. Any sort of way, they're not qualified. Whenever you read a build a business or a financial book, you Google the author and who is the author. Just because they made an e-commerce like small shop somewhere and sold like $1,000 of something, that doesn't make them a good businessman. That really does not. For the longest time, I was believing that these people were somehow so qualified. They were the best of the best. They were the cream of the society. That they're so self-made. That they're so this, that, and the third. Losing the fact that they are not. They are literally trying to become a millionaire by writing this book, and then writing another book on how to actually become a millionaire. And then they're going to explain that you should have to write a book for millions of people so that you can become a billionaire. And the reason number 3 why I think self-help books are useless is the storytelling of these books, y'all. And 99.99% of these books can be fit in 10 pages. I'm not lying. If you read a self-help book, you know the first chapter is useless. You know the last chapter is useless. You know somewhere in the middle you'll find something. Surrounding everything is water. That is basically how it is. And the reason for that is because they want to sell a book. They don't want to sell you a conspect. All of these books literally couldn't be fit in 10 pages and it would be more than enough. But they don't want to do that. They will find stupid jokes to fill. Let's say if you read An Art of Not Giving a Duck. you're gonna find 1,000 plus millions of jokes. Useless, unfunny jokes. Tons of water about personal experience. Tons of water about someone else's experience. And blah 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 blah. Who cares? Who cares? I'm a firm believer that if you want to read a self-help book, you should just read a short version of that, an essay version of that, or a rewrite version of that. A lot of people post it on Medium, a lot of people post it on Facebook, Instagram, and everything. It's gonna be more than enough. There's no reason for you to sit there and read 300-page long book and be so unsatisfied by the end. Again, this is not a fiction book where you build a character, where you tell a story, where you describe everything so that a person can visualize everything. It is not a fiction book. You don't have to write 1,000-page non-fiction. You just don't have to. And if they would delete those stupid jokes, my life would be so much easier. Maybe I would finish a book if they would delete so many unfunny jokes. There's just too many of them to count. Also, they are not creative. Wait, I know these are self-help books and they don't have to be creative, but it doesn't mean they have to be dry as hell. The reason why people like to listen to these books instead of reading these books is because there's so much water, so much desert, literal dryness in it that you can just like miss all those words. You can just put on your headphones for an hour at a 1.5 speed. You're gonna at least finish 3 chapters, but when you actually read it, like reading page by page, it is so fucking dry. It is so dry. You literally finish one page, and then the second page, and the third page, and you were like, if this self-help book trend will grow as it is growing now, it should be more creative, it should be shorter, and it should try to be less funny. Don't try to be funny. Cut to the point. No one is here for that. If a person would try to buy something funny, they would buy comedy book, sketchbook, poems, something, but not self-help book. People buy you because of the title. People buy you because you promise something, and people buy you for information. Don't try to mess with the reader. Trust me, readers are smart. You guys, just read a fiction book. Nothing wrong with reading just a regular fiction book. At least you're gonna get a story, at least you can fantasize, visualize, your cognitive skills are gonna work. Your worms in the brain are gonna be like moving and like creating some neurons and whatever they do. Read a good fiction book that will teach you a lesson, that will tell you a story, that will do something for you, rather than spending so much time and effort on reading a self-help book that is not going to actually help you. And you're just going to be left with minus $13. You're going to make someone else rich just because they tell you how to become rich. And you're going to be left upset. You're going to be left upset. Trust me.
Believe me, been there, done that.
That was cringy. Anyways, thank you so much for watching my video. Please subscribe, comment, and like. I finally started doing this. You have to ask yourself. You have to ask people. Please subscribe, like, and comment if you like it, of course. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.